Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to our Rookie to Champion adventure on World Snooker Championship or World Championship Snooker, which it actually is. I never realised that, only looking at the box art the other day. It's not World Snooker Championship, it's World Championship Snooker, but to be honest, World Snooker Championship is a more snappy title, so we'll still go for it. Welcome to the 15th instalment of the series, and today we play the second part of our round of 16 British Open game against Marco Marzotti. Now, in the 3 or 4 frames we play today, I would say that getting through to the last 8 will just be a mere formality, which I suppose doesn't advertise this episode too well. But nonetheless, we've got to finish off the job in hand. We can't be complacent. We've got to get the 2 frames. And who knows, Marco played, and I don't use this term lightly, he was awful in the first 3 frames. I think his largest break was, I'd say single figures possibly, maybe 10 or 12, but nothing more than that. And I know we haven't played the best, but we certainly played a hell of a lot better than Marco. We can actually look now before he takes the shot, or he's already taken the shot. If we look at scores and standards, as you can see, his highest break is 9. Ours is only 28, but at the same token, our average points per shot is a lot higher than Marco Marzotti. Now, this marks a change in the schedule to a Sunday in terms of the video, so I hope you guys like that. Yeah, we're changing snooker to 3 times a week on the channel, which I think is a good move for the channel. We're moving it 3 times a week on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and on a Sunday, just because it seems to be the most popular series on the channel, and you guys really enjoy it. So, as I said on Thursday's episode, make sure to keep watching, keep liking, keep commenting, keep interacting, and that will really help me to make sure that this series stays on the channel. Now, the most realistic thing to do and the best thing to do there was to just guide it up and let it touch the balls. Now, we could have gone for the hard pot on the red, which we were kind of eyeing up before, but because it's touching ball, unfortunately, we didn't get the snooker. But as you can see, this pot is A, lot straighter, and B, a lot easier than the previous one. So we're going to get a little bit of top on it, just make sure we get it back up the table, but more importantly, just to get the first pot of the frame and get some points on the board. Lovely, in the pocket.
Well, he has proved he can make the difference.
Nicely done there. Are we on the black? Are we on the black? Yes, we are, quite nicely actually. But we've just got to bear in mind that possibly a bit of screw... we can't play with that much, that's ridiculous. Right, let's make sure we get it in the pocket first. That might be the best thing to do. Actually, do we need the screw back? I don't know. I think we can hopefully get it off the one cushion back onto the other one. It's a bit of a risk to see if we can get the red in. But can we get the black? That's the most important thing. There we go, black's dropped. Not the best position though now. That was a bit of an oversight from me. I thought it would go more towards this cushion to give us a better position on the red. But nevertheless, that's not happened. Is it worth just rolling it up to this red? We could play a safety, but I just don't see the point. So we're going to roll it up to this red. See what happens. I don't think that there's a shot available here of any brilliance. I think that's okay. I think that's covered.
Safety shot here.
Because whatever he goes for here, he's going to hit the red. So he's going to play a safety, just hit it off the red there, and that's not a bad safety actually. There's a red that's just outside the cluster, but unfortunately for us, we can't get any sort of shot off it. So once again, we're just going to lay it up to the packet of reds. No point taking some silly risks. We learnt last episode, it's great to get some good feedback on that actually, that you guys felt that it was brilliant to see that we were a bit more patient, we were taking less risk. I've got a few tips on playing the ball thin as well, which is brilliant. Again, we're making moves up, and I think that'll be brilliant just before Snooker 19, which of course will be hosted on the channel. But good from Marco though, his first probably good shot of the game in actually performing that snooker. Now, can we just touch this red? Is it worth going for it? I think it is, to avoid a cushioned escape. It's going to be tight. It might be a tricky one, but I don't think it'll be groundbreaking if we don't hit this red, because Marco, no. We've just missed the red. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I don't think it's not going to be mean that we lose the frame, so I wouldn't get too hung up on that, folks. But we've lost 4 points. It's a force continue. Luckily, we can hit this one thin, and the guidance was just to hit it not have so much power on it when we hit it thin. So that's what we're going to do. Actually, right. If we, this is a tricky shot now. Do we go for the pot? We can go for the risky pot, or we can just play it up to the pack. I'm just thinking if we hit it thin here, look at the pack, it could open, but we're going to risk it anyway. Hit it as thin as possible. And as thin as possible, I mean very, 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 very thin. But making sure, obviously, we get it back up the table. That's the priority here. It would be great to go 4-0 up, wouldn't it, here? I understand for you guys, probably be brilliant if it's say a 4 each, but we don't really want that. That's perfect, as long as it doesn't go within, if it doesn't go in the pocket, but it's nowhere near, and that is a pretty much perfect safety shot, I would say, there. Bit of a good safety battle going on here. I think I enjoy these possibly more than the big matches. Well, he hasn't really whacked it, to be fair. He's not done badly there, although the positioning of the cue ball's not great, but it's still not left us in the best of predicaments. Yep, cue ball back up to bulk, as Dennis says there, I think. Trouble is, we can't really hit this one too thin. We've just got to get it back up to the bulk and make sure we hit a red at the same time. So it's a tricky shot here. Ooh, that's close to the pocket, actually. That's not the best shot. There's clearly a route through to one of these reds. Not the best there. The reaction of the reds can, of course, change, so it's one of them, but he's missed that. God knows how he's missed that. I do not know how he's missed that, possibly. But can we get a plant here? Does the plant... Yeah, the plant's got to go, surely. Not too hard. Hopefully we can get a position on the black. I just risk with the red so close to the pocket it might come off the cushions, but I think a plant's more secure, and that is pretty much bang on.
But he did well.
Arguably could have done with something a little bit close to the red, so we could have got a bit of a better position on the black, but we're okay. Now just play this nice and soft, hopefully get a good position on one of these reds, this one that we're very close to with the white arrow preferably, but it's going to be tricky. 7 points I think is more important than the position here, and that's exactly what we've got. It flew up the table, I didn't expect it that much, but in fact we've actually ended up quite nicely there onto the other red that we didn't pop before, of course, that was... the ball that was in effect planted to put the other one into the pocket. Here we go then for the other red. Be brilliant if we can get another red and a black. Brings up a bit of a secure lead. Ooh, a bit harder than I would have hoped there. Blue might be best shot here. I do like the blue. Hit it with a bit of force, bit of top, get it back down the table. We could get a screw back, but I don't know. I fancy playing it up the table. That's my gut instinct here. As long as we can get the pot, which I think we have. Oh dear, we've just missed it. Bit of a lapse in concentration there. Oh well, I think we can be forgiven for that. Because we've left the cue ball in a decent position. Goodness knows what Marco did there. The safety shot really gone wrong. Right, can we get the tight pot into the middle pocket here? I'm not worried about position on the black. I just want to get the pot. Which really, I think in this stage is the most important. Another point on the board here. This would be a good pot. It's a tight one, but we've got it right in the heart of the pocket.
Nice clean pot.
And there should be a position... Well, there should be a pot on here either for the yellow. The brown looks the easiest, doesn't it? Can we get any screw back on this? We can try, can't we? Another 4 points to our score for the frame.
Yeah,
That's
really
not bad. Don't
slammed that
snooker
one
ourselves. We've done well there, actually. Right, is there a long pot on this red?
Choose from now.
I won't know about reds to choose from, but there's a decent potting opportunity on this one. I mean, the risks aren't that big, because even if we miss this, I can't see Marco going to build a 30 or 40 break. I think we have just missed it. Although, that's very close. That's unfortunate. Maybe just a bit hard there, but we'll let Marco have the table for a bit. Sure enough, I don't think he'll play many shots. And for some reason, he's missed the plant. Goodness knows how that's happened. This is going to be a tight shot, but if we can pot it, it makes it very easy to get onto the black, doesn't it? But goodness knows how he missed the plant there. This just proves how bad he is, really. We're going to say that and make some corkers of mistakes here. The black's very tight, so I'm a little bit against that, just because the blue looks a lot nicer of a pot. It's not the most brilliant pot, but there's more of a clearer line towards the pot for the blue. Now, I know we played screw back before, which was a bit of a mistake, so we're not going to do... Actually, we can play a bit more, can't we, and not play with so much power. Although we still need a fair whack of power, so it's going to be quite narrow into this pocket. If we don't make it, we don't make it, but it's a risky shot, but it might be worth it. And absolutely it is. Good stuff. And we've got a decent position now on this red just outside the cluster. This should be potable. Just take a bit of time, bit of focus. I'd rather take that extra 30 seconds than lose the frame over something silly like this. which should be an achievable pot. Just make sure we get the angle exactly right, just to make sure it goes in. But this should be fine. As it is.
No choice
Black
there but
should
to
be
use the
fine now.
rest.
It's not great still, but I'd rather get it back on its spot. I think it's a little bit off its spot there. The black spot, I think, is where that white bit of chalk or whatever it is, a marker, is on that table. So it's going to be tricky to get this in. Sometimes down to a little bit of luck rather than anything else, but we've potted it and we've moved a red, which should hopefully give us the angle to pot it into the top pocket. And in fact, that's pretty much straight there, isn't it?
Not much you
So
can do
we'll go
here, but
for
try
it.
and leave the cue ball safe.
Give it a good whack. Just need to get it up the table. That's my only fear. I don't think there's any fear of this not going in. But fingers crossed we get something good on the black. Let's check the pot goes in first. It certainly has even. And that black, it's going to be a tighter pot than the last, but it should be achievable. Right. Let's have a look. I'm not a fan of these, I must admit. That should be about okay. If it doesn't go in, it's a bit unfortunate, but we're going to hit it nice and soft, just so that there's no easy pot on the red if the pack's broken up. But that has gone in. We've broke away the reds a little bit, but we've got a lead of about 40 now, so we should be securing this frame. We've got a break of 22. Can we curve this red? It's not going to be interrupted by any other ball, is it, to get into this middle pocket? It's a tricky pot, but possibly we can make it work. And good position as well we will get here on the black if we can pot it. No, just out. That's unfortunate. It was a decent shot, to be fair. It was about accurate. Not really much else could be asked there. But Marco's missed that one as well.
Don't think that ball wanted to go
Well,
in.
has he snookered us? I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. So we might as well just line this up behind the red.
Ball back into the balk area here.
You know, there's no point trying to play it, play a risky shot. He can't get a pot from here, can he? So he might as well just tap it onto the red and see what he can do. Hopefully it doesn't hit the yellow first. That would be a disaster, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's hit the red. Well played. Unless there's a direct pot into the middle, which I don't think there is. There's not really much he can do here. Very good from Marco. Could never have seen he was going to play that shot. Well, we're just going to play the game with him, to be honest. We may as well just tap it onto the red. Like, you know, there's no harm in this. You know, the policy here is make the opposing player play the risky shots, unless they're significantly better than you, and you've just got to play. You've just got to play the shots that might be risky just to get a chance. And as I've just said there, let him play the risky shots. He's done that, and that looks like a decent angle into the middle, doesn't it? It certainly does. Nice and soft, just so we can get a decent position on the blue. It might not be optimal, but with this, a blue, a few more colours, the frame's pretty much wrapped up. Although these reds that are still on the table aren't really developed here, which is a little bit disappointing. Now, is there an angle on the pink? That would probably help us on the on developing the red side. That should be fine. We've got the pot, so we can focus on the position now. Now, is anything going to do here? It's not really, is it? We're going to have to try and put it into the reds, but it's only going to hit the edge red. So we're going to try here. Requires a fairly hard pot, which we've got. And there we go. That's done about as good as we could have done, really. Is there a pot into the middle?
He'll play safe here, putting the cue ball in the balk area.
I mean, the commentators, Dennis and John, are very safety orientated here. But, you know, there's a pot there, I think. Provided it doesn't hit either of the jaws on the pocket, we should be fine. And this should be another fairly easy. Ooh, just missed that, unfortunate. Little bit off. And because these reds are developed more, because we played a really skillful pink there, he should have a chance now. He's actually potted that one. That wasn't the easiest pot in the world. Well, let's see if he can fight back. It's an uphill battle for Marco Marzotti, but to be fair, one that he's not given up with, certainly. He's not going to concede the frame yet, because it's not over until it's over, but nonetheless, he's not playing badly here. Nice easy pot into the middle, and he's got good position on the blue.
That's a nice angle on the blue.
Echoed by Dennis. Now, what does he play from here? I'll be interested. Is he going for top pocket? It looks about say. Oh, he's missed it. Well, that was unfortunate for Marco. I was kind of rooting for him there, thinking, well, if he can build up a decent break, that'd be nice for him. But that's got to be his biggest break of the match so far. Right, I don't like these shots because they can go terribly wrong, purely if it just goes off the jaw of a pocket. But we're going to give it a good whack here, just to get it back down the table. But because we've got that cushion in the lead, where's the cue ball? We're okay. Just because we've got that cushion, we're okay. And actually, we've either got the pink or the blue. Now, providing the pink's nice and easy, we might as well go for that. And it is, it's brilliant. Right, we can get a bit of screw back here. Not too much, but enough. Put it that way. I don't think this pink's going to settle in the middle of the pocket, but it should be fine. Ooh, quite a bit of a clip off the jaw there. That wasn't great positioning, I'll give myself, you know, it wasn't great, that wasn't. So it requires this shot along the cushion, which really shouldn't go in. You know, it's one of those that it's just your luck. But with the cushion we've got, with the 40-point cushion we've got, we can afford to play it. But he's going to try and get this in, unless, no, it's fine, it'll go in. Unless he pots the cue ball as well, doesn't get the required spin on it. He's done well there to get the spin, and good position on the black as well. Really, this increases his confidence. It's not a good thing to do here to let him in, but as it... Oh, I thought he'd missed that. He has potted it, though. So there's either the tough red into the middle pocket or the red on the cushion into the bottom pocket, which he's going to play for the latter. He puts that... I was going to say he scored that. Doesn't make any sense. Another 7 points on the line here for Marco. Potting a little bit better than he has done.
16.
But not great on a red. That pink's a little bit disruptive in this occasion.
He'll get good position from the red.
24 points behind. He's certainly decreased the lead, so fair play to him. Should get a colour here. But it is still, whatever he gets here, it is still quite an uphill battle. He can decrease the deficit, coming up to the 27 that are available on all the colours, but he's got to pretty much clear up most of the table to have a chance. But he still has got a chance. We'll watch and see what he does. Again, he should clean up the black, which leaves 27 to play for with 9 behind. So let's have a look what his positioning's like. I mean, this yellow is nasty, so he might try and snooker us here. I've got a bit of a worrying feeling, pardon me, or he might just go for the yellow here. Well, he's gone for it and potted it. Hey, here comes Marco Marzotti. Well, we've underestimated him a little bit with the green and the brown. He'll go level. Not in terms of frames, of course, but in terms of points. He could clean up here, and we could be making a little bit of a mockery of. But fair play to him. He's missed the brown, though. I don't know how he's done that.
It wasn't difficult. He'll be kicking himself for that.
It wasn't difficult. This next shot's a lot more difficult, isn't it? Right. Again, this is a bit of a luck one, isn't it? It's just, oh, does it go, does it not? I'm going to play that, though, see how it goes. I think as long as we get this, which fingers crossed we should, we'll be 8 ahead with 18 to play for, and we've got it. Good stuff. Not the best, but we've got it nonetheless, and with the blue, we can get the frame. Bit of a worry there, of course. We haven't dominated Marco in the way we wanted to. I know it sounds stupid to go for the bottom pocket here, but I think it's less of a risk, to be honest, than the middle pocket, so just check this is all okay. Yep, that looks okay to me. Could be a risk here if it doesn't go in. Does it not go? Does it not go? Does it not go? Yeah, it's gone. Good position on the pink as well now.
If he gets this one, I'm sure the frame will be
Might as well get this potted, as Dennis says. Move on to the black, and that will confirm. This pink definitely will that we are now 4-0 up in this game. We just require the one more frame. Certainly don't want to call the frame there. Bit of potting practice, not too fussed if this doesn't go in or not, so we're not going to take our time, but hopefully it'll still go in, which it does. And it was a little bit worrying, that was, but 26 points is the deficit that Marco had there in the end, and we've pretty much cleaned up, which is good stuff. And now it's Marco's turn to make the break. I don't think in a ranking match in terms of when we played first rounds, we've certainly beat players in clearances of frames in qualifying matches, but not in these sort of matches, and potentially today could be the first time for that. But a good break from Marco. So requires us to go on the right hand side of the reds. We're going to nest up to the reds. A popular tactic of mine today, especially in this situation. There's not really much more you can do.
Putting the cue ball in the cluster should mean no pot is available.
What's he going to do today? I don't quite know what he's doing here. This could break up the cluster. Oh, okay. Well done. We're just going to play the same sort of shot. Make sure it's we hit it a little bit so we can't be accused of a push shot. But yeah, once again, we've played very similar shots. It's a safety. Let's him play the risky ones, and it looks like he could be doing the same here. Yeah. More risky shots, although to be fair, he's got it back up to the bulk, so fair play to him. Right, we don't want to make sure we hit the pink here, and equally we don't want to hit the yellow, so a bit unfortunate here. We might have to have a bit of a longer safety battle, which I'm up for. Just to clean this up 5 frames to 0. I thought it was going to hit the pink there, but we'll keep going until he makes a mistake. Well, none of us makes a mistake. We're underestimating him a bit here. But once again, back up to bulk. But not such a good job done here. But it's going to take one of us to break up the reds, and nobody really wants to do that. So it requires a risky shot. Just thinking, well, I suppose that one of them could go in, but really neither of us want to take the risk because we've seen that Marco's actually got the potential here. We are touching ball, which means he can just drag the cue ball away here, put it up into the bulk, and try and get a snooker, which he hasn't quite got there. That's unfortunate, but it's basically a mirror of a break off here. So we're going to hit this edge one of the cluster very thin and just try and get it back up the table, although this might not be the best tactic. But ultimately, we've got to get the game going. We can't be playing this for minutes on end, but that wasn't too bad. Good stuff. Well up to the bulk area, and we've actually managed to close the gap between the balls here, so that's positive. Bit of a safety battle going on here, but that could have been ended by that ball. Oh god, we've heard this joke before from John about beating Steve Davis in the 80s. Oh dear. Good old John, eh? Such a shame John Virgo's not going to be commentating on Snooker 19. Unfortunately, that's another shame. There's no route through to this red, for a pot anyway, so well, what do we do here? Another break type shot, I think, required. Unfortunately, yellow does block the route through there. First mistake from Marco though, broke a few balls from the pack, but that is good enough as long as it doesn't go in here. He can go for the long pot on the red.
He might play a shot to nothing.
But Dennis seems to think he might play a shot to nothing. I don't think he will. I think he's going to go for this pot. Looks like it, doesn't it? And I don't know what he's done. To be fair, he's done well. I criticised him there, but he's got it back into the pack. But unfortunately, there is one there that lies hanging out. So, not great there. And the black's not in the best position, but we can get the first point to the break and the first point to the frame. And that puts us 1 point to 0 up. And funnily enough, we've just managed to drag the blue closer to the pocket, so we'll put that win on him. We'll like a bit of black spin here, it seems. So we're going to go for that as long as it doesn't go into the corner pocket that's opposite to it. That just seems ridiculous. Once again, blue's been... Oh dear. Blue's been knocked. Have we got a bit of a lucky break here? I don't think we have. Or is there a plant? Is there a plant on there? That looks about right to me. If it's not, oh well. But it's all about experimenting. Actually, I don't think there is a plant on here. The balls aren't quite there, but yeah, the plant's not on. Ah, well, we haven't left the worst situation here. It's always worth a go. As you can see, he hasn't potted that. As I say, it's always worth a go, isn't it? No harm.
I can't see an easy pot here.
No, there's no easy pot here. They haven't really left anything on, apart from potentially this red, which I don't really think has got the angle, but we can have a look at it. We can analyse it. Just needs a little bit of angle to get into the pocket. It's a tricky red though. Requires a little bit of luck, and that's some luck that we've got
nice
here. It seems.
Pot.
It's a shame that the black's not close to the middle pocket. We could really have done with putting that back into the middle, but we're not going to risk the blue. I don't think it's worth risking the blue, but we are gonna go for the brown. It's only 1 point less, and it keeps us on the table quite easily. It's a fairly straight pot. And as you can see,
He's put the
a
brown
point
away.
on the board. Now, hopefully, the red should be achievable. It certainly is from here. Fairly hard shot, up, as I say, the up and down, but make sure we get the pot at the same time. And that's it. Jolly good. Now, is there a route through to the black here? That's what we need, really, to pot to get it back in its position. That should go in, unless it hits the jaws, which would be a bad mistake. No, it's gone. And that's not a bad pot, actually. It's not a bad... Oh, could Completely forgot about the black going there. That wasn't the best, was it? Right. Just put it in the pack, I think. Once again. There could be a pot on here I might unforesee, but we've not played badly here. Not the biggest break, but I always think it's not about big breaks in these frames, particularly in the safety frames, when it all gets to being so crucial. It's all about making sure the opponent isn't at the table for long, and equally making sure the opponent makes the mistakes rather than yourself. And I think against bigger players, they will make sure that it's us who makes the mistakes. But I think we can take that role today and make sure Marco makes the mistakes instead of us. Right, is this red going to surpass this other one? I can't quite tell. I don't think it is, but I can't really tell from down here. Well, I think the only way to verify that is to check, is to go for it. It could be a risk, and it could be a frame loser, but it also could be a genius shot. It did miss it. That's purely because it didn't go in. And now Marco Marzotti has got a chance to get on the board in this frame. If he misses this, he shouldn't be playing.
Nice
there
shot
we go.
back onto the black.
Nice shot onto the black, and now we just sit and wait for a while. Is he going to put it in? He certainly does, and he's got decent positioning on a red. The reds aren't that developed though, so we can wait for him to do that. Just nudging the black. Well, I don't know what on earth he's done there. The only thing I do know is that he's missed by a country mile.
Choice of reds on the table.
That's disappointing, really is. Right, might as well just play some screw back here. Although we can't, can we really, unfortunately. Right, let's think about this. We don't hit it too hard. Bit to the left. We don't... any side spin, just make sure that... oh, we're nudging that now. Right, we want to make sure the cue ball doesn't follow the red into the pocket. That's my worry. It's going to be tight, but I think it should just miss the pocket unless we go that way. Yeah, that definitely misses the pocket now. It's fine. They're nasty, these shots. They're easy pots, but you can be on the knuckle. But they do allow for a good response with the blue, so that's what we're going to play. Get a bit of screw back into the cluster. Not quite that much screw back. We don't want it going to go in the pocket, but hopefully with that sort of screw we should get on something decent. But if not, it's another 6 points from a Marco Marzotti mistake. There we go, brilliantly done.
Excellent shot. He's not been having much luck with the difficult shots so far.
Well, I don't think we've played many difficult shots, so I can't think of any we've played actually. We might have played the odd red here and there, but nothing that's that complex. But ultimately it's all about picking pots, and hopefully the power we've got on this gets comfortably back up to the blue, because the black is out of commission, and it hasn't really. Although yellow's on, I suppose you could say.
Well played, onto the blue again.
Actually, no, the blue's a lot straighter than I thought it would be. I wasn't expecting it quite to be that straight, which is nice. No screw back here, no opportunity for screw back, so we might as well just play it with not much power, so that it does the same thing, but make sure that the cue ball doesn't go into the pocket. Hopefully it's enough power though here. That would be a shame if it wasn't. Yeah, that's fine. That's going in. It's gone, and the red and the cue ball stopped as well. Although of course with the screw back, the problem is that the blue is in the way.
Sounds like somebody in the crowd has forgot to turn that mobile phone
Right, this is a tough pot, but we are going to go for it.
Just had a quiet word.
It's a tricky one, certainly. But with the lead we've got, because there's nothing better to play, because I don't fancy a safety shot, this is probably the best shot to try and attempt. And it's not that far off, but really not good enough. But, oh well, we've got a bit of a lead here. Marco's buggered the shot up.
Quite a bit of side spin there.
Luckily he's got rid of the blue. So hopefully one of these will go through, surely. That one will go, won't it? Right. Gets past the blue, fine. The other red even, not the blue. What am I on about? Goodness knows. Right, we're not really looking for position here. We just want to get a pot, which we should get fine. There we go, we've got it. And equally with that, we've not done badly on the positional front.
He might want to take the green here for
Yeah,
position.
green looks like a decent pot, doesn't it? I would play the blue, but it's a little bit too much of a risk. So, I don't like these particular pots. They're not at the best angle, but we'll play it nonetheless. Bit of top on that just to get it back down the table. This should be okay. Roughly the right angle. And it's worked out fine. And once again, it's cleared the colours at the bulk end, so that's all that matters. Another pot here, this should be fine. Another point on the board, and it should lead, hopefully, to that objective coming a little bit closer. Oh, the pink doesn't go, that's a real shame. Right, yellow it is, just to make sure we stay on the table. I know you say, well, that's ridiculous, you know, you could go for the brown there, but the yellow's a clear pot, you know, there's no uncertainty about that. So we might as well just go for it here.
Down.
Another 2 points, better than a slap in the face. That's how I think of it. Right. Can we get the black back in commission here? Got to get the pot first, which we have. No, too hard. Saying that, is there a possibility of this black going to the top pocket? Ooh, okay. Well, we might as well go for it. Like, it's not going to hurt, is it, at this point? I don't think it does make it, but if it does, we look very good. No, it's not really anywhere near, but... ah, well.
The red near the pink seems
A little bit more angle needed. Not
here.
really got much experience in those shots, and Marco's going to go on a bit of a spell here. But with the black out of commission, fair enough, the pink's in commission, but the red's, I would argue, a little bit awkwardly placed. So he's got to get good position here to pull any of this off, and that, to be fair, he has got here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to use a deep screw shot here.
I was about to say, I thought the game was going to freeze there. There you go, that goes in.
8.
Black
That
potentially
makes a
back in
nice
commission
change.
here.
Getting a shot with
Unless
the
it's
rest
the pink he's going
He's
for.
had no luck with it so far. Well played, onto the pink again.
I seem to think it's pink, it is pink, and he's missed it. Unfortunately though, he's not really left anything on that's easy anyway. This red will go, but it's not an easy shot, particularly with the pinks so close there. Now, we want to get this shot, but also make sure that we can get position on the pink, which is a trickier task than you might think. The pot's the most important thing though here, honestly, I think. More of a short-term approach, I know, but it makes sense. And once again, we've got a good position on the pink, so win-win. Try and get a bit of a screw back, hopefully get position on the next red. But another 6 points to our frame. Well, that wasn't quite the intended effect, but we'll go for it. Blimey, look at that.
Well, there doesn't seem
right
to be
into the
an
middle
obvious
pocket.
shot
Does
here.
it go? Oh, this is nasty, isn't it? The most subtlest of shots, a tap here will do, but it's all about getting the right angle. This is going to be a genius shot or a failure. It's in. Jolly good. Brown will go here. I know we're whacking it, but hopefully just get it back to the reds in a decent position, and we increase our lead with that pot to 35.
Well,
Yeah, 35
okay
points
here.
over Marco in this frame. Now, does the
He'll
red
give this
go?
100%. Potting the red will give him the frame.
Oh! Potting the red gives us the frame, but we can't do it. That's gutting. Can't quite make. Is it worth going for it? I don't think it goes. Doesn't, does it? But we might as well go for it. Just a little bit of a tap. We could genuinely get this off the knuckle here into the pocket, but I don't think it will. No, it's too far off. And it gives him a chance now, although we don't need many points to get this frame. But it was worth a go. You know, if it went in, we got a chance. And sometimes the aiming aid is a little bit off, so it was worth a go in my opinion. Nothing foolish about that sort of shot. Again, Marco in with shape for this, but it's like the last frame, you know, there's not a hell of a lot of chance for him getting back into it.
8.
But he can pot the pink here, and we've
Looks like he's trying to get the black
there's
onto his
34
spot.
to play for. He's missed that, and now there's only 27 to play for.
He needs a yellow ball to take the frame.
So we need the yellow to take the frame. So we might as well just take a bit of time over this. I don't know if we've done that right. We'll find out. Yep, we have. And we don't want to say anything yet. We've snookered ourselves here, haven't we? No, we haven't. We're okay. Right, well, we can clear this table up, I suppose, if we want to. I don't want to say we've confirmed ourselves in the last 8 just yet, because something could well happen. We could get snookered here or concede a number of fouls, which wouldn't be great. Or we can miss the green. Again, not the most focused, really, because we've potted the yellow at this point, but he's going to go for snookers now. It's the only way he can get back into this, but he's going to pot the green, going to pot the brown, I would say, and then probably try and get a snooker after that. Oh, well, he's missed the brown. Oh, has he got a snooker out of that? No,
This
of
should
course he
give him
hasn't.
plenty of confidence.
Well, we might as well just pop the brown here. Make sure we get the brown. Make sure we get a bigger points deficit for Marco. And,
What a
yeah.
tricky shot, not for the
Oh, I thought we were
What a
snookered. Are we
shot.
snookered? Is it? Oh, no, we're okay, actually. Right, we'll nestle it up behind the yellow. The blue. Tap it a little bit, though, into the black. And, yeah, that should be it for the game. Marco might be resilient, though. Is that it?
Times like these when you...
Is he going to play on or has he had enough? No, he's going to play on. Well, fair play. He's going to go for this. Whether out of pride for getting the pot or anything else, I don't know. Well, he's just going to tap it up to the blue.
He'll play safe and sneak that cue ball right up behind the colour.
I don't think there's any way this goes, so we're just going to do the same as he does. Just tap it.
No choice there but to use the rest.
He might try and snooker us here, considering the balls are so close now. Going to try and pot this, though, perhaps. Oh, wow. Well, we might as well go for the pot ourselves, you know. It's really not going to hurt. And we can't give away a foul, surely. And there we go, it's dropped. And the pink is possible here, but we're not too bothered. This is going to be, well, the game is way out of the reach of Marco Marzotti now. We've missed the pink, but we're 35 points ahead, and that should be it now. I very much doubt he's going to play on, if not, if at all, only for pride.
Yes,
He's conceded the frame, and that means that Marco Marzotti has conceded the British Open round of 16 against us. 5 frames to 0, a dominant performance from us. And I think that just shows you guys how far we've come in this 15 episode run. Now, don't worry, I'm not saying it's finishing. Oh, God, no. We go on onwards and upwards from here, don't we?
Great match there.
To the quarterfinals of the Brighton crowd. Well, not the Brighton crowd, but the Brighton crowd. We'll see the quarterfinal. It all depends who we're playing against. None of these are real players, I don't think, but we can just have a look who we are playing against. Once again, a little bit of a look at the scores. The only player to get a plus 30 break, unbelievably, was Marco, but as you can see, that massively inflated his average break. His average points shot were quite poor, and not a great matchup between the two of us. We played well, though. Made sure we beat an opponent that was poorer than us. Sometimes you just have to do that, and I'm not going to discount that at the end of the day. Let's see, though. We've got Hugh Lloyd in the quarterfinals of the British Open. There's 8 players left now. We'll go into semi-final 2 against Matt Hindle if we get into this. Of course, the last to play here, we've got Nils Wolfsson. He got beat by Alfonso Torres 6-1. Robin McCallum beat Scott Ryder 6-3. And Matt Hindle beat David Laws by 6 frames to 0. So what is it going to be against Hugh Lloyd for us? Let me know down in the comments. Are we going to make it to the semi-final of the British Open? And are we potentially going to win this British Open? It's going to be a great episode next time out. I think Hugh Lloyd will certainly give us a bit of a better spectacle and match. But if you've enjoyed that, folks, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment as well if you've enjoyed, and subscribe for free videos of snooker a week. And of course, daily snooker 19 content when that game comes out. It looks closer than we thought before, so that looks a very exciting prospect. But nonetheless, thank you very much for watching, folks. I have been TIJ. Make sure to enjoy the rest of your day and your content watching day. Of course, you can continue your journey with me here by clicking any of the elements on the end screen to continue watching videos on my channel. But if not, I'll see you when I see you, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.